Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here to Alleman, Iowa. Tonight's matchup is going to be Roland-Story versus your North Polk Comets. And tonight's going to be a very special night, as tonight is senior night. So we'll have great recognition of your North Polk senior players that have meant so much to this team.
Yeah, and this game is a little bit of a revenge match, especially here for the girls, as we are coming here for the girls' game first. The girls lost to Roland-Story. The final score of that game was North Polk 54, Roland-Story 59. I was actually in attendance of the game. It was incredibly intense. I believe it was pretty much just a 1-point, 2-point game in the entire fourth quarter. At the end of the game, Roland-Story ended up going up 3, and that caused the Comets to have to foul a little bit to try and attempt to get the ball back, which led to a bunch of free throws that ended up sealing the Comets' fate. However, coming into this game, I think the Comets are going to be super pumped up, fiery, going to try and take this, as this game is not only for the bragging rights, but also for the conference title.
Yeah, and one key player that North Polk is going to have to stop here is going to be Reagan Barkema. Last matchup, she had 22 points against the Comets, as well as Reese Johnson with 17. They really didn't have any other huge pieces for them. I mean, they had a couple with 6, Amy Rathmaker and Madeleine Morton. But Barkema and Johnson are two great players here for Roland-Story, so it's really going to be important here for North Polk to try to stop them today. And Jaden Murphy was great in the last matchup. I believe she had 17 points. Yeah, Jaden Murphy had 17 points, followed by Maggie Phipps with 12. And so we'll see if they can also stay in their big roles here and help this North Polk Comets team win.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm incredibly excited to see what goes down here. I think some key players tonight are definitely going to be, like you said, Jaden and Maggie, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Schaefer sisters are a huge factor as well. Roland-Story is pretty explosive on offense, and having those two super aggressive defensive players might be a great factor in this game.
Yeah, and like we're seeing right here, we are recognizing some of our senior players. You just saw Abby Hill there. Abby is a great reserve player here for the Comets. She comes off the bench. She gets you great rebounds. She's a great defensive player, and she does great on the offensive end as well. She'll score inside, and she's even shown the ability to knock down the 3 ball. Right here we have Brooke Johnson. Brooke Johnson is a key bench piece. The girls love her. She's great friends with everybody on this team. And though she hasn't got much playing time, when she does get into the game, she shows a lot of energy and a will to be out there. Here we got Jaden Murphy. Jaden Murphy's been a starter here for the Comets for a while, and she is a huge piece of this North Polk Comets offense, as well as their defense. North Polk, for North Polk. And like we said, Jaden Murphy is a great shot blocker, and she's a great rim protector in general. She's going to contest shots and send them back.
Oh yeah, Jaden Murphy currently is the second highest scorer on North Polk per average, per points per game, only behind Maggie Phipps, and she leads the team in rebounds and steals, actually just rebounds, offensive and defensive, and is, I believe, second in steals behind Lucy Schaefer, and also is very high on the assist list as well. I believe she is 3rd overall in assists.
And here we're seeing Aaliyah Springer, as she's another big bench piece for this team as well, as she's also another one of those players who hasn't seen much minutes, but she's a great bench piece to have and is great at keeping this team together and keeping their spirits up in close games.
Yeah, I mean, overall, we're coming into a great game. We're all really excited for it. And I think it's worth noting here, Colby and I are seniors as well, so this is kind of a bit of a senior night for us as well. So I would just like to give a huge shout out to all the people that have tuned in, that have been watching us over the past couple games. This is not our last home game quite yet. I believe we still have Ballard. But until then, I would just like to thank everyone for tuning in, and let's see if the Comets can pull it off tonight.
And we are very close to being underway here. 2:45 left on the clock before the game will begin. And let's just do a rundown of Bondurant yesterday. Bondurant was an exciting one for the Comets.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. The boys had a decent shot at Bondurant, but the girls had a kind of a really close game with Bondurant.
Yeah, it was very close there for a while as North Polk came out strong, and Bondurant was keeping it close all game. But there near the end of the 3rd and then into the 4th quarter, we saw North Polk able to push that lead out, and they won by, I believe, 19 points.
Yeah.
And it was a great showing all around for North Polk.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely showed that North Polk can get things done both sides of the ball, and especially it showed that North Polk can get it done against really good teams. North Polk has fallen, but to a couple teams this year, but the teams they've fallen to have been just amazing teams in general. And Bondurant was one of those teams, but luckily, it made it seem like it was no problem.
Yeah, and the Comet girls here, they've been on a few game win streak, and they're excited to try to push this lead here while it's narrowing down to the final few games of the season, and they want to get themselves ready for playoff contention.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that without a doubt we might see the best game of the year here tonight, as I believe that the Roland-Story game that we saw last Tuesday, I believe, was, I think, the best game that we've seen all year thus far. So tonight could be a really big thriller, could be a big one in general. So I think everyone here is excited, and there's about a minute left until tip-off.
Yeah, and that last Roland-Story game was a real tough one for the Comets, as they were leading for most of that game, and then it came down to a few last-minute things that kind of didn't go North Polk's way, and that lead quickly slipped, and resulting in the loss for that game. But like we know, Jaden Murphy had a great outing last time against Roland-Story, so let's hope she can do that here again, especially since it's a special night like senior night.
Oh yeah. Jaden Murphy is going to be your only senior currently on the starting lineup. Due to the closeness of the game, the seniors were honored in the starting lineup last game against South Hamilton, and tonight we are going to see pretty much a usual lineup for the Comets. We're going to see Lucy Schaefer, Abby Zimmer, Hannah Foster, Maggie Phipps, and Jaden Murphy.
And Abby Zimmer and Hannah Foster, two juniors here for the Comets. They've been great pieces all year long. Abby Zimmer, she's a player that does not need the ball in her hands at all. She's going to get you great defensive possessions, kick the ball down the floor, and get open layups to her teammates. And Hannah Foster, a wonderful playmaker, as well as has great ability to knock down the long-range shot. As we saw earlier in the season, she had a streak there where she hit 4 3-pointers in a row. And when she gets hot, she gets hot. And they're two great players here for this North Polk starting lineup. And then we also see Lucy Schaefer, a sophomore, who she'll have a few more years here. And she's a fantastic defensive player. She gets a lot of steals, and she runs down the floor on the other end. She's going to go under contact, create some pressure, get fouls drawn, and get a lot of and ones.
Oh yeah, no, she's absolutely fantastic about driving into the hoop and being able to get the shots that draw the contact. So of course, it's just, it's going to be really exciting to see what she can do in the next couple of years. Reagan Barkema is going to be here in your starting lineup for Roland-Story. She averages 14.7 a game, so she's definitely no slouch. Yep, there she is, Barkema. That is 32.
Yeah, and your starters here for Roland-Story are going to be number 10, Julian Clark, number 12, Amy Rathmaker, number 22, Madeleine Morton, and we also just saw Reagan Barkema, and as well as number 54, I believe, Madison Martindale. I could be wrong about that. It might be Reese Johnson.
Yes,
I believe Reese Johnson will be a starter here tonight.
It's Reese Johnson averages 9.7 a game, so definitely not a slouch at all. And what's really exciting, at least for Roland-Story fans, that Reese Johnson and Reagan Barkema are both sophomores, so they have a lot of years left on them.
And speaking with Jaden Murphy earlier today, she is very excited for this game, as last time these teams met, as we mentioned, it was a very tough loss for the Comets, and Jaden is ready for revenge. She's extremely prepared to take down the Norsemen here. And we'll be right back here as we honor the national anthem. And we are back here, and we just saw a great performance by North Polk basketball player Sydney Anderson for the national anthem. I had no idea she could sing, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I was impressed, absolutely. Great range, great power, great belt. As someone who has definitely been on the music side of North Polk High School, I'm just really excited to see that happen. She might very well be coming into this game a little bit. She's a great player for the Comets. So, yeah, I'll be excited to see that.
And we are about underway on tip-off here as Jaden Murphy will tip off for the Comets, and number 32, Reagan Barkema, will tip off for the Norsemen. And Jaden Murphy going to win the tip-off here. Hannah Foster will have the ball for the Comets. She'll be picked up by Barkema. Hands it off to Zimmer. Zimmer up top over to Jaden Murphy. Murphy looks inside, nothing there, gives it over to Zimmer up top. Zimmer gets it to Phipps on the nice cut there, and Phipps is going to lay it up and in. North Polk strikes first, 2-0. Clark here with the ball, hands it off to Rathmaker. Over to Barkema, Barkema to Clark. Clark up top to Morton. Morton drives in, kicks it out to Johnson.
Johnson seems to be looking for someone who's not there.
Gets it back to Morton. Morton gives it over there to Barkema. Barkema covered by Murphy. Great defense here by Jaden Murphy. Gets it up top there to Clark. Clark drives left, lays it up, and off the mark there as Schaefer's on the rebound. Foster here with the ball.
Hannah Foster's your assist leader for the Comets. Absolute elite passing ability.
Foster looking to set up an offense here for the Comets. And a little miscommunication there as she tried to get it to Phipps, but Phipps was going down to cut, and it looks like a foul will be called on Schaefer, so the ball will go the other way.
See, in the last matchup between North Polk and Roland-Story, Lucy Schaefer had 4 fouls and was in danger of fouling out. I believe she actually might have, but I can't seem to recall.
Rathmaker here, covered by Foster. Gets it over to Barkema. Barkema up to Morton. Correction, Rathmaker. Rathmaker to Morton. Hands it off to Barkema. Barkema's going to drive right and take it to Lucy Schaefer. No good on the layup. Schaefer on the rebound. Schaefer gets it back to Foster to take the ball up the floor. Foster over to Zimmer. Zimmer looks inside to Murphy, finds her. Murphy post up. He's going to drive baseline here. Uses the body size there to lay it up and in. Little size disadvantage as she takes it right to Rathmaker and
Looks
gets
like
the easy layup.
On the Roland-Story lineup, Madison Giese and Reagan Barkema, as well as Jaden Nelson, are 3 players that are listed at 5'11" for Roland-Story. That's going to put them all just an inch taller than Jaden Murphy, but Jaden Murphy just plays with enough aggression that she's able to get past defenses like that. And also on the Roland-Story lineup, we have Madison Martindale, number 54. She's not been in this game yet, but she is the tallest on both sides of the court at 6 feet tall.
As Roland-Story will have the ball here following Jaden Murphy's layup. And Clark will take the ball up the floor. Clark here picked up by Foster. Clark looks to drive right, pulls up from mid-range, and long on the shot there. Hits nothing but the out-of-bounds line. It'll be North Polk ball.
Now, it is worth noting that in the last time Roland-Story met North Polk, North Polk, I believe, had a 12-point lead at half. So North Polk only accumulating 4 points is definitely, that's 4 points more than Roland-Story scored tonight, but it's definitely something that you're going to have to consider so that Roland-Story can come back.
As Murphy tries to get it over to Phipps, passes tip, but Phipps recovers. Foster out on the right wing now.
Looking to set things back up again.
Gets Murphy down inside. Murphy post up, and an offensive foul is going to be called as she tried to use a size advantage to back down her opponent. And she must have extended the arm just a bit there to get the offensive foul.
That's going to make the foul total for tonight already. North Polk with 2 and Roland-Story with none.
Clark here for the Norsemen. Clark gets it over to Rathmaker. Rathmaker to Barkema for 3 and knocks that one down. Cuts the North Polk lead here to 1 point. It is 4-3. We're 3 minutes into the quarter here. Schaefer with the ball, gets it over to Zimmer. Zimmer up to Murphy. Murphy finds Schaefer. Schaefer out to Foster to set up the offense. Foster's going to drive middle and kick it out to Zimmer. Zimmer rotates up top, gets it over to Schaefer. Schaefer drives inside, lays it up, and no good on the layup, rebounded by Clark. Clark gets it all the way up the floor there to Morton. Morton back to Clark. Clark over to Johnson. Johnson in the corner to Barkema. Up top here to Morton. Back to Barkema. Barkema's going to drive middle and take it to Jaden Murphy, but short on layup. Gets her own rebound, lays it up, no good. And it looks like Clark's there on the rebound. Out here to Madeleine
Rathmaker.
Amy Rathmaker there on the three.
Already the Comets are down 2. 4 minutes remaining in the first.
Nice dribble move by Foster, but Foster gets tripped up, and a jump ball is going to be called. It'll be the Norseman ball. And Hannah Foster did a great job there of splitting the double team, but looks like she just got tripped up on the foot of one of the Norseman players as she fell to the ground there, causing the jump ball. Clark here now for Roland-Story. Clark looking to go right and cut off by Foster. Gets it over to Morton. Morton up top here to Barkema for 3. Barkema's short there, and Boatman's on the rebound. Hands it off to Foster.
Yeah, Michaela Boatman, she's a freshman, but seen a lot of time in the varsity lineup. Seen her develop great this year.
Foster gets it over to Zimmer. Zimmer covered here by Clark. Zimmer gets it over to Foster. Boatman up top. Inside to Murphy. Murphy's going to spot up and kick it out over to Foster. In the corner here to Zimmer. Zimmer down low to Murphy. Murphy tries to get the post hook, blocked by Barkema. Gets it back, lays it up, no good there. Rebounded by Clark.
It is worth noticing that Barkema does have a height advantage on Murphy that she utilized in that last possession.
And Morton here for 3, knocks it down, extends the lead to 5 points.
That's going to make that North Polk 4. And Roland-Story 9.
And Zimmer here with the ball. The Norsemen full court press on the Comets as Jaden Murphy's going to drive in, kick it over to Boatman. Up top here to Foster. Foster looking to set it up, gets it over to Zimmer. Zimmer down low to Murphy. Nice cut by Zimmer, but Murphy overthrows the pass. It's going to be out of bounds, and it's going to be Roland-Story ball. North Polk started off with the first 4 points of the game here, but looked to slow down just a bit as the Norsemen here on a 9-0 run. As North Polk will call a timeout here, 32nd, looking to get the team back under control.
Yeah, and of course, that's something you can definitely expect from Coach Albertson, is he's going to try and kind of reel the Comets back in a little bit, have them do a little bit of a better job with this team, because this team is definitely not one you can underestimate. I don't think anyone has. They're 15-2. The Comets are coming into this game, I believe, 12-5. However, it is worth noting that the Comets have played a lot more 4A, 5A schools, and that's where most of their losses have come from. So these teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah,
so,
and North Polk here is going to have to try to find a way to shut down the 3 ball, as Roland-Story here already has 3 made threes, and that is their 9 points. As Clark will take the ball up the floor here once again for Roland-Story. Clark here is going to be picked up by Foster. Clark gets it over to Morton. Morton hands it off to Grady. Grady drives right and kicks it out to Ramus. Ramus in the corner here to Clark. Back out to Ramus for 3. And Ramus knocks down yet another one. 4 threes here early for Roland-Story.
Roland-Story just coming in with a 3-point attack. North Polk didn't look like they were expecting that. It has definitely caught them off guard as they fall to 8 points behind Roland-Story.
Jaden Murphy looks to drive right, and it's stolen away by Ramus. Gets it over to Grady. Grady hands it off to Barkema. Up top here now to Clark. Back to Barkema. Barkema spins right. Goes up inside, and it's going to be blocked by Maggie Phipps out of bounds, and it'll stay Roland-Story ball.
Here we have Liza Schaefer and Abby Hill coming into the game. Abby Hill is somewhere around 5'10", 5'11", so it might be good to have her height when going up against Barkema. And Liza Schaefer is just an amazing defensive player in general, so having her is going to be important.
As Grady here gets it up top to Barkema. In the corner here to Ramus. Ramus over to Clark, and looks like the pass is jumbled there, but Clark recovers. Clark covered by Liza Schaefer and gets it out to Morton. Morton drives, middle, kicks it over to Ramus. Ramus in the corner here to Grady. Clark for three, and Clark can't knock down another as Abby Hill's there on the rebound. Zimmer will take the ball up the floor for the Comets.
You know, we've definitely seen a lot of games where the name of the game is the Comet defense shutting down an offense, but right now it looks like the Roland-Story defense might be shutting down the Comets.
Boatman knocks down a three.
There's Michaela Boatman saying, Chris, that's wrong.
As Michaela Boatman there cuts the Roland-Story lead down to 5. And it is stolen away by Boatman, as she's going to have an easy lay here. And gets it up and in, and one.
That was
great play there.
Danielle Grady for Roland-Story on the foul.
And great play there by Michaela Boatman. Great defensive awareness to poke the ball loose. Realized she still didn't have possession of it and stole it away completely. Ran down on the other end, took the contact, laid it up and in. And she has a chance here to cut the Roland-Story lead to 2.
Exactly. Michaela Bowman's only been in this game for a couple minutes, is already the leading scorer for the Comets, as she has 5 points now on the night, and she has cut down the lead to just 2 points, which is super manageable, especially for this Comet team.
As Clark here, covered by Schaefer, gets it over to Morton. Morton out to Ramus. Ramus over to Clark. Pass is tipped by Liza Schaefer. And it's tipped again, stolen away by Liza Schaefer. Zimmer gets it. She's going to drive down, step it back outside to set up the offense. Spins, goes left, hands it over to Hill up top to Liza Schaefer. Pump fakes, drives inside, floats it up and in. Ties the game up here at 12 with 10 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Wow, we're seeing a bit of a freshman takeover as Liza Schaefer and Michaela Bowman are balling out.
As that is Teacher Nagel, I believe, as Morton there is going to knock down the 3 at the buzzer, and it counts. And that's a great shot there by Madeleine Morton to hit the buzzer beater 3.
You know, leaving it looks to be like a real issue right now is going to be leaving players like Morton, Barkema, Grady, Nelson, or Grady, Ramus open in the corner for the corner 3, as that has absolutely slaughtered the Comets. We've seen already 4 threes, I believe 4 or 5 threes already in this game.
Yeah,
no, just 4.
So far it seems like everybody here on the Roland-Story team can pull from deep, and they certainly are, as every single one of their points has came from a 3-pointer. 5 3-pointers so far here for Roland-Story, as they have a 3-point lead, 12-15 after the first.
Yeah, but you know, we got to talk about how they ended at the quarter there. We saw Liza Schaefer and Michaela Bowman kind of take over a little bit. That was really exciting to see. On just 2 short possessions, Michaela Bowman was able to cut down the lead to a very manageable 2 points. Then Liza Schaefer with a huge block right there. Liza Schaefer is very fast. She's a state cross-country runner as a freshman alone, and has a very, very excellent shot to be a state track runner as well. So we definitely got to see a little bit of that speed.
As North Polk's going to have the ball here to start the second quarter, Murphy will inbound to Liza Schaefer. Schaefer over to Boatman. Boatman pump fakes, screen by Murphy, steps back out, gets it up to Lucy Schaefer. Phipps on the back cut there and finds her. Phipps down low, post up, floats it up there and gets it in. And Phipps there using a size advantage once again to be able to lay it up. She's got the bigger opponent on her, and she's just going to work around her and tire her out and get the easy floater to fall.
Oh, yeah. And Maggie Phipps, another thing about her, she's very strong. I believe she lifts the most out of anyone on the team, and she's constantly in the weight room, an incredibly hard worker.
That was almost stolen away there by Boatman. And Rathmaker here has the ball now for the Norsemen. Rathmaker looks to drive, cut off by Boatman. Great defense here tonight from Michaela Boatman, as Barkema will have it up top. Johnson here goes baseline, gets it out to Clark up top here. And that's a 3 from Rathmaker, and she knocks it down once again. Another 3, 6 threes so far here for Roland-Story. As Lucy Schaefer gets it over to Jaden Murphy. Liza Schaefer out to Boatman for 3. Michaela Boatman answers right back. Ladies and gentlemen, she is hot tonight. You do not want to touch her. She cuts the Norseman lead down to 1.
She's 3 for 3 on her shots at 8 points.
As Rathmaker here hands it off to Johnson. Johnson almost stolen away. It is stolen away by Liza Schaefer. Liza Schaefer gets it to Lucy Schaefer, and no good on the open layup. Rare sight to see there.
Great sister connection there. Unfortunately, Lucy was unable to finish.
Johnson gets it. Clark over to Rathmaker in the corner here to Tijernagel. And out to Barkema for three.
Wide open.
Once again, another three here by Roland-Story. 7 so far tonight.
Mind-boggling. I think they've only missed 2 shots the entire night.
That pass is almost stolen away. As Barkema trips up her own teammate. Phipps drives inside, floats it up and in. 19-21 here, 5:50 remaining in the half.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are watching possibly the most exciting shootout we've seen all year, and it's only the second quarter.
Tijernagel here, covered by Schaefer. Over to Barkema. Back to Tijernagel. Over to Johnson. Johnson pass fakes, looks to drive right, cut off, goes left, lays it up, and no good there. Jaden Murphy on the rebound.
Looks like Roland-Story needs to stick to those three-point shots.
As Eliza Schaefer here gets it over to Michaela Boatman. Boatman over to Lucy Schaefer. Lucy Schaefer's going to drive middle, lay it up there, and no good. Little bit of contact. Lucy Schaefer looking for a foul, but none is called. Clark here now. He's going to take it to Liza Schaefer. Kicks it out to Tijernagel. And a block is going to be called on Michaela Boatman, as it looks like she was not set there.
That is going to be the Comet's third foul of the night to Roland-Story's 1.
As Abby Zimmer will check in the game here for Lucy Schaefer. As Julian Clark will sub out for the Norseman. Johnson will inbound. Johnson finds Morton, almost overthrew it there, gets back to Johnson. Johnson spins and blocked by Boatman. And blocked by Murphy. Great defense there, 2 blocks in a row. Abby Zimmer here now takes the ball up the floor. Zimmer hands it off to Murphy. Murphy looking for something. Gets it over to Liza Schaefer, over to Abby Zimmer. Gets it down low to Jaden Murphy, and a foul's going to be called there on Amy Rathmaker. There's a little push in the back there on Jaden Murphy. That'll be the Norseman. Second team foul here, Amy Rathmaker's first. Abby Zimmer to inbound. Finds Murphy. Murphy's kicks it over to Boatman. Boatman's going to take it to Johnson here, hands it off to Zimmer. Zimmer looks inside, finds nothing. Spin move there by Abby Zimmer, lay it up, no good, blocked. And
I believe that was
like
blocked by 32, Reagan Barkema.
Looked like there was a little contact there. The ref might let some stuff go here. Those always make exciting games as North Polk will still have the ball. Hannah Foster to inbound. Abby Zimmer, great move there on the spin to create some space, as inbound is going to be foul called actually on Julian Clark.
In the last possession, I believe Roland-Story has had 4 fouls now. Or 3 fouls. 3 fouls in the last possession alone.
It's Hannah Foster looking to inbound the ball, finds Murphy. Murphy's going to pull from mid-range and knock it right down in the eye of Amy Rathmaker.
Jaden Murphy definitely looking to have another big game here tonight.
Johnson here now. Stolen away by Hannah Foster. Zimmer's on the floor for the ball. And a timeout is called by North Polk. Great timeout there from Coach Albertson, as North Polk will keep possession here after the timeout. And great awareness by Hannah Foster. Pokes the ball loose, and that hustle by Abby Zimmer kicks in. She dives right on that thing.
Oh, yeah. You know, Abby Zimmer, we definitely saw in the last game how even though she's a lot shorter than the other people that she's finding in the lane, she still manages to come away with so many rebounds just because she's so aggressive and fights for them so hard. And that's absolutely huge, because we've definitely seen it really shoot teams in the foot when they go in and they just rebound every single, or they go in and they can't seem to rebound a shot. And when you only get 1 attempt at the basket every possession, you know, you're scoring a lot less points.
Yeah, and Abby Zimmer, she's probably one of the top hustle players here for the Comets. She's going to be the first one on the floor, and she's also nabbing away a whole bunch of steals.
Oh, yeah.
As Foster here now, covered by Barkema. Over to Lucy Schaefer. Lucy Schaefer looks inside, and Murphy finds her. Nice dish pass there to Zimmer. Zimmer no good on the layup, but she gets her own rebound.
Great example of her rebounding skills right there.
Foster drives inside, splits the defense, lays it up and in. Great move there by Hannah Foster.
We haven't seen a lot of that of Hannah Foster. Usually she's a pass first, but she saw that the open lane right there and drove right in.
As it's blocked by, it looks like maybe Maggie Phipps or Jaden Murphy, one of the two, and a foul's going to be called.
I believe that block was in fact Maggie Phipps. She went high on the right with her right hand, and that's exactly where Maggie Phipps had her hand at. So very good.
As
very good
Lucy
defense.
Schaefer will inbound here to Jaden Murphy. Jaden Murphy back to Schaefer. Up to Murphy. Murphy gets it over to Abby Zimmer, gets across to half court. Back to Lucy Schaefer. Over to Foster. Murphy posting up inside. Foster finds her. Murphy on the spin, no good on the lay.
That's definitely a rare sight to see from Jaden Murphy.
Abby Zimmer almost steals it away there from Barkema. Barkema gets it over to Clark.
Looked like Morton earlier was calling for another corner three.
As she gets it over to Morton. Morton back to Barkema. Barkema's going to drive in, float it up too long there off the back iron. Foster on the rebound.
Hannah Foster, the shortest person on that court, but shows so much heart and hustle, especially when it comes to the rebound. You got to love to see that.
As she gets it over here to Schaefer. Murphy posting up inside. She'll screen up top for Hannah Foster. Schaefer gets it over to Murphy. Murphy swings it to Phipps in the corner. Phipps drives in, hops, lays it up too long there on the shot. As it looks like Barkema's there on the rebound. Julian Clark here with the ball.
Yeah, it looks like that shot was very heavily contested by number 10, Julian Clark.
Clark goes right after the screen from Barkema. Clark gets it out to Grady. Grady over to Morton. Morton looks inside, nothing there. Hands it off to Barkema. Barkema almost stolen away by Abby Zimmer.
Like we said, a great defensive player. She's going to fight for that sort of thing.
Hands it off to Morton. Morton drives around, kicks it over to Clark in the corner for three. No good there. Jaden Murphy's on the rebound.
Her missing that three is definitely giving the Comets a little bit of room to work with, as they've been just so locked down from the three all night.
Abby Zimmer here now for the Comets. Tries to get it out to Foster. Kick ball by Barkema. 23-21 here. Minute 47 remaining in the first half. Boatman's going to check in the game for Hannah Foster. Teachernagel's going to check in for the Norsemen.
Currently for the Comets, the leading scorer is going to be number 4, Michaela Boatman, followed by Maggie Phipps, number 32.
Boatman over to Schaefer. Schaefer in the corner to Zimmer. Zimmer covered by Clark. Down low to Jaden Murphy. Murphy out to Schaefer for three. Schaefer, no good there. Can't get the friendly bounce as it's off the front iron. But Boatman's on the offensive board. Murphy's going to try her shot and knocks it down. Great shot there by Jaden Murphy to knock down the long-range ball.
That's a skill a lot of teams forget, that Jaden Murphy, even though she's amazing in the paint, is also such a great three-point shooter. She's always going to be a threat at the three.
Yeah, she's got the ability to extend the floor, and when North Polk needs the spacing, Jaden Murphy can sit outside and she'll knock down the long-range shot when she's open.
Oh, yeah. Possibly the best all-around player you've ever seen at North Polk.
As Morton gets it over to Teacher-Nagel for three. No good there as it's rebounded by Barkema, up and in.
And that is going to be Roland-Story's first point from a non-three-point shot.
As they cut North Polk's lead down to 3. 40 seconds remaining here in the first half. Zimmer looking to cross up. Clark gets it out to Boatman. Murphy here in the corner. Murphy's going to drive middle and kicks it over to Zimmer. Zimmer's going to drive inside, drops her defender, but can't get the layup to fall. Looks like it could have possibly been blocked by Barkema.
Yeah, it looks like Barkema had definitely heavily contested it, if not blocked that last shot.
As Norsemen here are going to slow the ball down as North Polk trails by 3. 10 seconds remaining in the first half. TJ Nagel here with the ball, gets it over to Morton. Morton to Clark. Rathmaker inside. Barkema on up top here, almost thrown away by Zimmer as clock's going to expire here. Blocked by Jaden Murphy. I don't think that shot counted.
Blocked by Jaden Murphy. Wow.
And North Polk leading here after first half, 26-23. Great outing here by both teams. The Norsemen looking hot from the three-point line as 7 of their 8 makes come from long range.
Oh, yeah, and we definitely actually saw that in the last game as well. Last game, Roland-Story knocked down 9 threes, and already tonight they've knocked down 7, which is absolutely insane. We haven't really seen that many from any team that the Comets have faced this year, so I think it's definitely going to be super exciting just seeing how this game pans out, because whatever the outcome is, it's definitely going to be a close one. Now, keep in mind that the last time these teams met, at halftime, the Comets were up by, I believe, 12. So that's, definitely something to keep in mind, that Roland-Story is a second-half team.
And big pieces here so far for the Comets. Michaela Boatman with 9 points so far, as we saw her knock down 2 3-point shots, as well as had the and one. And then Jaden Murphy here also with 7 points.
Oh, yeah.
As she's been a beast on defense, as she's gotten multiple blocks. She's gotten a ton of rebounds like she usually does, as well as she's got a few shots inside.
Yeah.
And she also just knocked down that long-range shot, showing her great ability to be able to spread the floor.
Yeah, and of course, you definitely gotta talk about how we expected Reese Johnson and we expected Reagan Barkma to come into this game big, but you also got to have some love for number 22, Morton, who has sunk 2 threes already on the night in clutch time in the corner.
Yeah, and Barkma here has 2 threes as well as an easy layup. And Chris will disappear here for a little bit, as he's got to go get recognized here for senior night. He'll be back in just a bit, and we'll actually take a short break here. North Polk leads 26-23, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, hey, hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here. For those of you just now tuning in, North Polk Comets up by 3 after the first half. 26-23 is your score here so far. Michaela Boatman getting it done for the Comets, 9 points here tonight. Jaden Murphy was 7, and Maggie Phipps was 6.
Oh yeah, no, we're definitely looking at quite the shootout here in Allman tonight. 3-point lead by the Comets. We did mention it before the half a few times, so for those just tuning in, the last time these two teams met, Roland-Story overcame a 12-point lead by the Comets after half. So the Comets are definitely going to have to be super wary or going up against this team after half. But something we really need to mention is that 21 out of the 23 points of Roland-Story have been from 3-point shots. They've sunk 7 already on the night, which is just 2 less than they did during the entire game last time. And so that's just really dangerous for the Comets. A lot of them has come from corner threes. So wouldn't surprise me if over halftime the Comets kind of tightened that up a little bit.
Yeah, and Regan Barkema here with 8 points so far, and a couple with 6. We got number 22, Madeleine Morton, and number 12, Amy Rathmaker. And like you mentioned, Chris, it's been a 3-point shootout here so far, as we've even seen Jaden Murphy stepping out behind the line, knocking down the deep range ball, and Michaela Boatman has 2 herself.
Yeah, and we got to see something that we rarely see. Hannah Foster and Abby Zimmer, 2 amazing players for the Comets, both of them juniors, bright futures ahead of them. They both have been just driving in and just putting down points. Usually both of them, they're 1 and 2 on the assists for right now for the Comets. And so usually they're definitely pass first, but we really got to see them just drive in and put him down. So that's really exciting that we're seeing a little bit of everything from every single player on the court tonight.
And we've seen great defense here all around. Michaela Boatman, Hannah Foster, Abby Zimmer, Lucy Schaefer all have a few steals here tonight, as well as Eliza Schaefer. So it's been great defense so far from the Comets.
Oh yeah, definitely both teams here are just great defensively and good offensively, and that's really starting to become a big thing, is that both of them have to overcome one of the best defenses in the state.
As the Norsemen will start the second half here with the ball, Julian Clark gets it over to Morton. Morton looks inside to Barkema, finds her. Out here to Rathmaker for 3, and bank must still be open as she bangs that 3 in. Another 3 here for the Norsemen.
That's going to tie the game up right away, just 30 seconds into the second half.
Hannah Foster here now with the ball. Foster looking for some option, gets it over to Murphy. Murphy pump fakes and finds Phipps on the cut inside, and a lot of contact there as it's almost stolen away, but Phipps dives and recovers it. Murphy lays it up and in, and 1 on the floater.
Jaden Murphy going to reclaim the lead for the Comets with a chance to make it 3 points right here. But talk about some great hustle. Maggie Phipps on the ground saw Jaden Murphy open right there and just gave it to her. And then Jaden Murphy just driving through the bodies on the floor to put that up.
Yeah, Murphy's shown the strength inside there on that finish and knocks down the free throw, extends the Comet lead back to 3.
No surprise there, as Jaden Murphy's the best free throw shooter on the team, and it's not even close.
Clark here. Gets it over to Rathmaker. Rathmaker over to Morton. Morton over to Barkema for 3. And Barkema too strong on the shot there. Lucy Schaefer gets up for the rebound. Gets it off to Foster. Foster throws it all the way down the court to Zimmer. Zimmer's going to pull it out. And Murphy inside finds her. Murphy out to Foster for 3. And Foster too long on the shot there, but Murphy's on the offensive glass. Murphy inside to Phipps. Phipps spins, fades, no good there.
That was contested there by number 22, Madeleine Morton.
As Clark here with the ball, covered by Schaefer. Clark out to Barkema. Barkema over to Johnson for 3. And 2 right there, as it's a no good. Lucy Schaefer on the board, gets it out to Murphy. Murphy up here to Foster. Foster looking to slow it down a bit for the Comets, set up the offense. Foster over to Murphy. Murphy covered by Rathmaker, as a foul is going to be called by Morton inside on Maggie Phipps.
That is going to be the first foul of the half, and that is going to be Roland-Story's first foul of the half, and Morton's first as well.
As Schaefer will inbound here for the Comets. Finds Murphy down low. Murphy is going to fade, and too short there as it's off the front iron. And Rathmaker's there on the rebound. Rathmaker hands it off to Clark to set up the offense. Clark looks to go left, spins middle, hands it off to Johnson. Johnson pump fakes, goes left, floats it up. No good there. Phipps on the rebound. And it was a good look there by Johnson as Phipps got to be careful from behind, almost stolen away.
Definitely got a little help from the crowd right there. Just about everyone in here is yelling, hey, watch out.
As Zimmer up top here now for the Comets, gets it over to Phipps. Phipps here up top to Schaefer. Schaefer hands it off to Foster. Foster looks to go middle, out to Murphy for another three, and Murphy can't get the bounce there to go her way. It rattles all around the rim and out. Clark here, out to Johnson. Morton for three. Morton knocks it down and ties the game up here at 29.
That's going to tie her as the leading scorer for the Norsemen with Amy Rathmaker.
As Hannah Foster here now with the ball is going to slow it up. As a screen coming by Phipps, gets it over to Zimmer. Zimmer drives right, finds an open lane, lays it up, can't get it to fall there, just barely off on the layup.
Yeah, that's definitely something that we don't usually see from Zimmer with the drive, but I'm liking it. You know, I totally trust that even though that one didn't go in.
As Barkma jab steps there, steps back and tries for the three, but it's no good. Murphy gets it out to Foster.
Looks like we're going to be having Liza Schaefer and Michaela Bowman coming in soon.
As Foster gets it over to Zimmer. Zimmer down low to Jaden Murphy. Jaden Murphy swings it to Lucy Schaefer for three and answers right back.
Lucy Schaefer's going to reclaim the Comet lead. Is now 32-29 here in Alleman.
As Clark here is going to look to try to spin and create an opening, but too good defense there by Foster. There's a 2-3 zone here by the Comets as the pass is thrown out of bounds by Barkma. A little bit of miscommunication there as Morton looked to cut and the ball was just thrown out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like it caught the tip of Morton's finger, but unfortunately not the rest of the hand. So Morton was unable to get that.
As Murphy will inbound here to Zimmer. Boatman and Liza Schaefer here checked in the game for Hannah Foster and Lucy Schaefer. As Zimmer now here for the Comets. Zimmer looking for an option here and finds Murphy. Boatman cuts as Murphy gets it down low to Zimmer. Nice cut by Jaden Murphy, lays it up and in.
And look at the hops on her with that nice little jump step right there.
And we see that often here. Jaden Murphy will pass it down low to Zimmer or say Foster. Foster's often down there as well. And Jaden Murphy hits him with a back cut right down the middle, and they just dish it right behind him, right to Murphy for the lay-in.
Oh yeah, you know what? She makes it look easy. But right there, you can definitely tell they've put a lot of time into practicing that. They've done that just about a million times.
Yeah, and Murphy great at finishing under pressure. As we just saw there, three people around her, but she's able to get it to fall.
And something that I don't think we've mentioned yet is the last time Roland-Story faced North Polk, Jaden Murphy led in points, rebounds, and assists for the Comets. And so it looks like tonight might also be a big game for Jaden Murphy as well.
Yeah, and we already seen 2 threes so far here from Roland-Story to start this half, as it is 34-29. North Polk leads by 5. As Ramus gets it over there to Tejanagel. And Rathmaker on the cup, and Tejanagel is going to drive it baseline out to Morton. Morton looks inside, can't find Rathmaker. Morton looks to slow it down here. Gets it to Tejanagel. Up top here to Ramus. Ramus over to Clark. Rathmaker, Tejanagel. In the corner now to Ramus. Ramus pump fakes, and up top to Morton. And Ramus there for three, and a little bit left as she gets to skim the rim and out. Good defense there by Murphy to get out on the contestants. Bowman's going to drive in, lay it up, and in another bucket here by Michaela Boatman. She is 4 for 4 on the night, I believe.
You know, Michaela Bowman has just learned so much over the season, especially when it comes to that sort of thing.
As Abby Zimmer there tried to steal the pass away and ran into Tejanagel as she'll get called for her first foul of the night.
You know, what I do want to mention is on the last possession that Roland-Story had, Abby Zimmer noticed that the defense was off a little bit, leaving a wide open three, and she immediately corrected it by kind of talking to her other teammates. That's just some great leadership I noticed, and I thought it was definitely worth sharing.
As Clark has it up top here for the Norsemen, gets it over to Ramus. Rathmaker inside, drops out to the corner, and Ramus kicks it over. And Rathmaker sets the screen for Clark. Clark looks to go baseline, cut off by Zimmer. Great defense here so far by the Comets. Clark up top. over to Ramus. Ramus finds Teacher Nagel in the corner, covered by Liza Schaefer. Picks up her dribble. Can't find an option and finds Ramus up top. Rathmaker for three and knocks down yet another one. Three threes here so far.
That's going to make it 4 for Rathmaker on the night.
As Murphy now with the ball. Liza Schaefer on the cut, can't find her, gives it to Phipps up top. Phipps drives, left, spins, middle, floats it up, blocked by Morton. And a foul's going to be called on the ground by, I believe, number 10, Julian Clark.
That's going to come out to Roland-Story's 3rd of the half. If it is, it is.
Yep, that will be called on Clark, as Zimmer's going to inbound here to Phipps. Phipps covered by Morton. Phipps almost throws pass away, but Jane Murphy right there snags it out of her hands and lays it up and in. Great awareness there by Jane Murphy. As Liza Schaefer tries to get into the passing lane, and nice contest by Jane Murphy, gets out on the shot as Phipps is on the rebound. And a foul's going to be called on number 10, Julian Clark. It'll be North Polk ball.
And that is going to be Clark's 3rd of the night. That's going to put her in just a little bit of foul trouble. It looks like Roland-Story really didn't like that. They're screaming pretty hard.
As Zimmer now for the Comets. 38-32, a minute 15 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Zimmer spins, hands it off to Murphy. Murphy over to Phipps. As a little bit of miscommunication, they run into each other. Phipps gets it over to Murphy for three. Murphy knocks it down once again in the eye of Rathmaker. She's 2 for 3 from deep here on the night.
That's better than last game against Roland-Story. She went 1 for 3. She's already surpassed that tonight and put the Comets up 9 points.
And Jane Murphy has 17 points here on the night. Your North Polk leading scorer so far. She's had an excellent outing here. As Morton gets it over to Teacher Nagel for three, can't answer back as she's too long on the shot. As Clark here gets it over to Rathmaker. Rathmaker can't knock down yet another. She has 4 here on the night. Phipps is there on the rebound.
I believe that is her 2nd missed 3 on the night, so she's been absolutely locked down there.
Phipps will be picked up by Morton. 15 seconds remaining. As it's stolen away by Morton, Phipps tried to do a little too much. Teacher Nagel here's. And a foul will be called on the floor by Phipps. And so Roland-Story will take it in underneath with 5 seconds remaining on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. And the Norseman coach not happy here, looking for an offensive foul on the other end on the push-off by Phipps. Well, what he thinks is a push-off. I didn't really see much there.
Yeah. As
Clark will inbound here and finds Teacher Nagel. And a technical foul is going to be issued here to Roland-Story's coach.
Whoa! That's the first one we've seen all season here in Alleman.
As the North Polk crowd here is pretty hyped after that one, as Michaela Boatman will be chosen to be at the free throw line for 2 shots, which will also result in North Polk having the ball after the free throws. So a great chance here for easy 4 points, or maybe even 5.
Yep. And Michaela Bowman has the 2nd highest free throw percentage on the team of people that have shot more than 8 free throws. Only Jaden Murphy.
Knocks down the first and can't get the second one to fall. Rattles around the rim and out. And North Polk will have the ball here with 4.6 remaining. It's a 10-point game, 42-32, nearing the end of the 3rd.
You know, I got to be honest, I really want to know what that Roland-Story coach said in order to get a technical foul called.
He was chirping for a while there, so it was only a matter of time as Boatman here floats it up and almost passed to Zimmer. She tried to float it up. It looked like maybe a finger got on it, got it to Zimmer. Zimmer tried to lay it up and blocked there at the end of the buzzer. North Polk Comets leading here, 42-32 at the end of the 3rd. Jaden Murphy getting it done here tonight, 17 points.
Oh, she's more than getting it done.
Michaela Boatman also has 12. She's been on it tonight.
I know. going into this game, I got to be honest, I was a little scared, especially with the way Roland-Story played against the Comets last time, but I knew that the Comets were going to come in with a certain amount of fire and a certain amount of play that we really haven't seen, and we're just seeing such a near flawless game from the Comets. All the fouls they've committed have been questionable. No one on the lineup currently has even more than one foul, so no one's in foul trouble. So that's just really exciting, and especially the Comets just seem to be not able to miss easy shots, which has been a problem in the past.
And the defense here for the Comets has been good for the most part here tonight. There's been a few slip-ups leaving open shooters, like Amy Rathmaker in the corner. She's knocked down 4 threes here tonight with very few misses, as it just comes to a little bit of slip-ups that give the Norsemen open threes, and so they're going to have to clean that up a little bit, but otherwise their defense has been pretty stellar here so far. They've forced a lot of turnovers here tonight, and as Murphy will inbound here to Zimmer.
We don't up here keep stats of the game or what's going on, but it wouldn't surprise me if Abby Zimmer leads the team in steals.
As Zimmer gets it to Boatman. Boatman over to Liza Schaefer. Schaefer gets it out to Zimmer. A moving screen's going to be called there on Liza Schaefer.
Liza Schaefer. That's going to be Liza's first, meaning that everyone in the lineup has just one foul for the Comets.
Yeah, North Polk doing a great job of staying out of foul trouble here tonight. As Clark has the ball here now for the Norsemen. Johnson now. As Morton hands it off to Johnson, and a foul's going to be called
maybe
by
Boatman?
Michaela Boatman.
Yeah, it's going to be on Boatman. Maybe just like a little too much contact there.
Foul, yep.
Now is not the time for the Comets to start playing sloppy.
Yeah, 2 quick fouls there so far, as it's inbounded here to Morton. Morton's going to be picked up by Liza Schaefer. Over to Johnson. Johnson looks to drive right, hands it off to Barkema for 3. Barkema knocks down the long-range ball, cuts the North Polk lead back to single digits here at 7. 42-35, 7 minutes remaining here in the game. Boatman in the corner. Knocks down yet another. Michaela Boatman, ladies and gentlemen, feeling it here tonight. 15 points on the night, has yet to miss a shot.
She decided that tonight was going to be her night, I guess.
As it's stolen away by Liza Schaefer, a foul is going to be called.
I don't know if I could see that one right there, but that's going to be on Boatman. That's going to be Boatman's actually second.
Oh, that's called on Boatman. I would say that the foul would be called on Liza Schaefer after on the reach, but Boatman's called on trying to go after the loose ball. All right. Morton has it up top here, covered by Zimmer. Gets it over to Barkema. In the corner here to Clark. Clark looks to drive baseline, cut off by Phipps. Barkema pulls from 3 again, can't hit again as it's going to sail out of bounds. North Polk will have the ball going the other way.
Great decision made by Maggie Phipps. She elected not to go for it and just let it go out. It's definitely really good from her. Good IQ.
As Zimmer here with the ball gets it up to Lucy Schaefer. Over to Murphy. Murphy almost overthrows the pass there to Phipps. Phipps recovers. Zimmer's wide open there on the easy lay. And great cut there by Abby Zimmer. Finds the opening within the defense. Gets down low, and Phipps finds her for the easy lay.
Oh, yeah. You could just see great nonverbal communication between the two. They both seem to know exactly what to do right there. And Maggie Phipps picks up the easiest assist of her life.
As another foul's going to be called there. It looked like good defense.
Is that also going to be on It is! That's Boatman's third.
No, that should not be on Boatman. I believe that would be called on Abby Zimmer. I'm not quite sure. They have not put it up on the board yet.
I believe that is
going to be in.
I believe that is Bowman's third or fourth on the night.
Zimmer here has an open lane. She's going to lay it up. And
oh, correction. That was Lucy Schaefer, not Abby Zimmer.
As ball is tipped out of bounds by Phipps. Yep, and it thought he was going to let that slip away there. Definitely hit out of bounds. As Norseman here will keep the ball. Tejan Nagels checked in the game here for Johnson. Inbounded here by Clark to Barkema. Blocked by Maggie Phipps.
Whoa! Maggie Phipps said none of that and just smacked that thing away.
Maggie Phipps gets it up to Lucy Schaefer. Back to Phipps. Phipps, a little bit of miscommunication. Zimmer saves the ball from going out of bounds, gets it over to Schaefer.
Well, we're just seeing a certain amount of intensity to the Comets we've never seen.
Lucy Schaefer too strong on the lay-in there. Looks like she might have been poked in the eye as Clark's gets it over to Tijonego. Pump fakes, gets it over to Morton. Morton pump fakes and looks to drive, kicks it out to Clark for three. Clark can't connect. As an offensive foul is going to be called there on number 32, Reagan Barkema.
You know, Barkema was their leading scorer coming into this game, and it wasn't even close. I believe she had a quick check. I believe it was 12 points per game. It is 14. She has 14.7 points per game on average. The Comets have held her to 8.
As North Polk leads here 49-38 with 5:18 remaining in the game. Phipps here with the ball for the Comets. Phipps spins. Double team, gets it up to Zimmer. Zimmer over to Foster. Foster looks to go up top here to set up the offense. Foster in the corner here to Murphy. Murphy looking for an option here. North Polk looking to slow down the pace. Finds Boatman down low, out to Zimmer for three. Zimmer too long on the shot there as Murphy's going to come in for the rebound. Jump ball is going to be called. It'll be Norseman ball.
It looks like Zimmer's shot was wide right from this angle. With an 11-point lead, the Comets definitely cannot get comfortable right now. And it doesn't look like they are in any way, which is just great to see.
As Clark here hands it off to Morton. Morton swings it over to Johnson. Johnson covered here by Murphy. Looks like maybe a 3-2 zone by the Comets. As Barkema here has the ball. Looks to float it up and no good, and it's going to be rebounded by Murphy. Murphy gets it over to Foster. Foster now covered by Barkema. Foster looking for an option here, gets it over to Murphy. Murphy down low to Phipps, back cut by Murphy, lays it up and in under contact. She'll be fouled, and here at the line for two.
And I would just like to take this brief moment to tell everyone a little bit from the game that in the North Polk playoffs that the girls have, I believe, qualified for automatically due to their record, we will be announcing the home games. However, due to Iowa law, we cannot live stream the games online in the playoffs. So we'll be doing a radio broadcast if you want to tune into those if you cannot make it to the game. But we have a game at South Tama on the 5th, or a game against South Tama at home on the 15th, but that'll be the last you see of North Polk girls from us.
As Murphy here at the line gets no good there, goes 0 for 2 on that trip. Very rare sight from Jaden Murphy. But it's rebounded by Phipps. Bowman here for three. Can't connect as Schaefer's there on the rebound, lays it up and in, extends the North Polk lead here to 13 points.
About 4 minutes remain in this fourth quarter.
And almost stolen away there by Schaefer. Johnson here with the ball now, lays it up, and somehow miraculously gets it in. Looked like it might have been tipped by Murphy.
Exactly. That was very impressive for her to be able to complete that shot. Definitely definitely highly contested by Murphy.
As North Polk leads here by 11, 51-40. We have about 3:45 remaining here in the game. And defense so far has been pretty stellar from the Comets as they've been able to force a lot of turnovers, but also a slight issue has been leaving shooters open.
Oh, yeah. That's only been huge, especially down in the corners. But as we said earlier, looks like North Polk has been correcting that, if not down there with Coach Alberson, but just face-to-face on the court. They've been like pointing out, hey, look down there, she's open, you got to be watching that. And so I just think that's just a great little thing we've seen develop in the Comets. Going back to like the first games of the season, we hardly saw any communication, but now we're seeing great communication. We saw under the basket earlier with Maggie Phipps and Abby Zimmer, a ball getting around, and Maggie Phipps just delivering an elite assist that ended in a great easy basket for the Comets. So communication has been so big tonight, and it's great to see.
And that timeout is now over. North Polk will have the ball, and Zimmer's going to be inbound. 51-40, 3:39 remaining. Zimmer on the inbound. Finds Murphy. Back over to Zimmer. Zimmer looking to get past Clark here as she'll pick her up after half. Zimmer over to Murphy. Murphy looking up top to Boatman, finds her. Boatman here. Tries to get it to Schaefer on the cut, but can't find an opening to throw it. Murphy's going to go baseline, kicks it out to Zimmer. North Polk looking to slow it down here with an 11-point lead and 3 minutes remaining. Boatman drives middle, takes the pressure, lays it up, no good there on the contact. As Julian Clark here now for the Norsemen hands it off to Johnson. Back out to Clark.
We now hit the 3-minute mark.
Johnson for three, can't hit the mark there as Murphy's on the rebound, gets it over to Foster. Foster to Zimmer now. Timeout here by North Polk, full timeout. And North Polk got to try to find some offensive rhythm here. Looks like Norsemen stepping up the defense as North Polk has really had to try to slow it down here.
Yeah. You know what it might be the move for the Comets is just to run down the clock as much as they can. A little under 3 minutes remaining, but I definitely think they're just going to have to get a couple more shots in before the end of this game. I don't think they can leave this score at 51-40, especially because I believe 18 points were scored in the last minute at the last matchup, just due to all the free throws and such are being tossed around. And in that last matchup, for those who are unaware, we said it earlier, Roland-Story ended up coming out victorious 59 to the Comets 54. And with your current score, anything could happen right now. Is a very manageable 2:47 remains on the clock.
Yeah, and so far here for the Comets, Jaden Murphy, 17 points, followed by Michaela Boatman with 15. Those are your two top scores here for North Polk. Maggie Phipps only with 6 here so far tonight, as we have 2:47 remaining in the game, as Schaefer inbounds to Murphy. As Phipps up top here, covered by Morton. Gets it over to Schaefer. Schaefer to Murphy. North Polk looking to slow it up a bit here as Murphy's covered by Barkema. Murphy picks up her dribble, gets it over to Phipps, almost stolen away.
Looks like she's definitely trying to wait out a little bit.
And Phipps has got to be careful here. She's getting a bit physical there with Morton. Boatman now with the ball. Up top to Zimmer. And a foul's going to be called there on number 30, Danielle Grady. North Polk leading by 11 here with 2:12 remaining. Looking to slow it down on offense here, kill some time on the clock. As no good by Zimmer, as it should be called out of bounds on Morton, but he's going to say it was tipped by Phipps here, and so it'll be Norseman ball.
It looks like Phipps tried to plead her case there. The ref just gave her a shrug, said it is what it is.
Yeah, once you call it, there's no going back usually. As Clark gets it over here to Johnson. Johnson over to Morton. Clark now. Looks inside, can't find it. Over to Grady here in the corner, covered by Murphy. Murphy cuts off baseline. Great defense here so far. Grady picks up her dribble. And a timeout's going to be called here by the Norsemen. Norsemen can't be taking that long here on the offensive possessions. There's only a minute 50 remaining in the game. And they're trailing by 11.
Exactly.
Great
they
defense here so far from the Comets, as they've been making it very tough for the Norsemen to try to find an opening to score.
Oh, yeah. As I was just about to say there, Roland-Story has already wasted 21 seconds of clock time on that last possession. And that's by them alone. I feel like they'd be the last people on the court to be wanting to do that. So they're really going to have to start focusing up here, and they're going to have to start draining a couple threes like they did in the beginning of this game when they just could not seem to miss, just got them back to back to back to back, times 7.
Yeah, and Jaden Murphy's been slowed down a little bit here so far in this quarter, as she had 17 after the third. She's scoreless here so far in the fourth. But Michaela Boatman, she's got a three-point shot of her own here in this quarter. She's got 15 points. And Maggie Phipps here with 6. Lucy Schaefer's your third North Polk leading scorer with 7.
And over on the Roland-Story side of the ball, we have number 22, Madeleine Morton, and she is at 9. We have Amy Rathmaker, and I believe she is at 12.
Yeah, and I know Barkema has a few here tonight as well. As Clark here now with the ball, covered by Foster. Clark gets it out to Morton. Morton pump fakes. She's going to shoot from 3, and too long there on the shot. Schaefer's on the rebound. And are they going to intentional foul with a minute 35? As pass is stolen away by Clark. Clark's going to drive in, lay it up. Foul's called on Hannah Foster, so Clark's going to be at the line here for 2.
Not quite sure I saw enough contact there. Let's take a quick peek at Clark's free throw shooting stats on the season.
As As Clark's first shot at the line here falls in, cuts the North Polk lead here to 10. Has a chance to cut it to single digits with this second one if she can get it to go.
Clark is a fairly reliable free throw shooter. She's at 62.5 and has the most attempts of anyone on the team.
And knocks down the second one. North Polk lead cut to single digits at 9, 51-42, minute 25 remaining. Johnson here on Foster. An intentional foul there will send Foster to line here for a 1-and-1 opportunity.
Foster really showing off some great ball handling right there. She was able to drive through.
Yeah, and Foster here's a solid free throw shooter for the Comets. She's had a few trips here to the line this season. She doesn't get to the line often, but when she does, she converts on her opportunities. But she can't get that one to drop as the ball's jumbled around between Johnson and Morton, but Morton will recover here and gets it up the floor to Clark. Clark over to Johnson. Johnson's going to drive. Middle, stolen away by Lucy Schaefer. Ball's tangled up. Jump ball, North Polk Comets ball here with a minute 8 remaining, 51-42. And a timeout here by the North Polk Comets, full timeout. So we got a minute break here to digest this game here so far.
Wow.
As they've been getting it done here on the defense and offensive end. But as Norsemen here look to pile up the pressure with time winding down to try to get back in the game, they've got some easy buckets here so far.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I feel like the Comets they've played a near seamless game, but so is Roland-Story. Right now, Roland-Story's sitting at 9 fouls on the night, and they have 2 players in decent foul trouble. Number 10, Julian Clark, and number 30, Danielle Grady. However, it would really surprise me if we see anyone foul out before the end of the game. On the North Polk side of the ball, for some reason, our board does not show the correct amount of fouls for the North Polk Comets, but I believe that Michaela Bowman is at 4. So she's really going to have to watch that. Plenty of time to foul out for her, as it only will require 1 as she's coming into this game.
As North Polk will have the ball after the minute timeout there, as Lucy Schaefer is going to inbound.
They're running a play we haven't seen before.
As Lucy Schaefer inbounds here to Foster, intentional foul by Johnson. That will be Johnson's second here in this game. Oh, correction, that'll be Johnson's. Yeah, no, I was right, second.
You're always right, Colby. And don't you forget it.
Oh, I won't after last game, Chris. As Foster here is going to have a shot at the line, knocks it down and in. North Polk here in the double bonus so far.
Hannah Foster's a very respectable free throw shooter. She's at 58.8. If you watch her free throw shooting form and the way she arcs it is exactly like Abby Zimmer's.
As she's 2 for 2 there on that trip. It extends the lead back out to double digits at 11:53-42. We have a minute 7 remaining here in this game.
If Roland-Story starts playing some lightning ball right here, this could be a very hard game for the Comets to win.
North Polk Comets here need to be wary of fouls as the Norsemen are in the bonus here, so any foul will bring them at the line. As at 3, no good there, rebounded by Barkema. And tied up there by Phipps as she gets it loose and steals it away, gets it to Murphy. Foul's going to be called there on, I believe it should be Madeleine Morton.
Yeah, I was thinking Madeleine Morton as well.
And it will be on Morton. Her second foul of this game. Murphy at the line here for 2.
Yeah, and as we saw right there, we just saw Maggie Phipps just rip the ball away from Barkema. Maggie Phipps is one of the most dedicated North Polk athletes I've ever seen, especially in the weight room. I mentioned that earlier in the game that she's very strong, probably the strongest one out there, and she showed that off very seamlessly right there.
As that shot, first one at the line, is no good from Jaden Murphy. Rare sight to see. She's usually solid at the free throw line.
Yeah, she's the highest percentage on the team at 77. Drained a couple earlier this game.
And goes 0 for 2. Very rare trip from Jaden Murphy.
40 seconds remain in this game as North Polk has a comfortable 11-point lead as 30 seconds are going to remain on the clock.
Johnson no good on the layup. 33 seconds remaining here, and it might be a little too late as Phipps here with the ball up to Murphy. Gets it to Zimmer. Great job of winding the fouls. Slides Schaefer up to Maggie Phipps.
Schaefer could have taken that shot herself right there, but elected not to.
Phipps needs to be smart here and not get a foul as Murphy's going to have the ball. And should be a foul called there. Yep, will be a foul on Clark. That'll be her fourth. 53-42. 12 seconds remaining. Ladies and gentlemen, it might be time to say North Polk has won.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like I don't even need to knock on wood. But North Polk is your Heart of Iowa champions. Oh, and a beautiful sight to see. The remaining seniors from North Polk are going to be subbing into the game. That is just great. It is senior night. We have Alia Springer and Brooke Johnson in the game, as well as Abby Hill. That's just a great sight. All four, Abby Hill, Brooke Johnson, Jaden Murphy, and Alia Springer both dedicated a lot of years to this game of basketball, especially here in North Polk. It's just great, heartwarming to see as Jaden Murphy knocks another one down.
2 for 2 on that trip, 55-42. 10 seconds left. Johnson here with the ball. Hands it off there to Ramus. Ramus over to Teacher-Nagel. Teacher-Nagel floats it up, and no good. Time expires here. North Polk Comets get it done. 55-42. North Polk wins by 12. And does a great job here. 1 for 1 on the season, or 1 for 2 on the season here.
Oh, yeah.
Against the Norsemen as they get the win on senior night. Jaden Murphy, your standout player of the game with 19 points, followed by Michaela Boatman with 15.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about that. And with that, the Comets have become your Heart of Iowa champions, I believe, for the second year in a row. That's super exciting. And I'm really excited to see the North Polk Comet playoff run. And like we said earlier, the playoffs we legally cannot broadcast using video. However, we can radio announce. So for those games, if we have the luxury of them being at home, we will be attempting to radio announce what we can. But otherwise, I just got to say, talk about a great game from both sides of the court. Roland-Story played some lockdown defense. The Comets played some lockdown defense. Great offense from both sides. So that was just absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, and you couldn't have said it better. Great from both sides. And that'll be your North Polk girls basketball game here so far as North Polk Comets take the win on senior night. We'll take a short break here, and we'll see you back for the North Polk doubleheader. The men's play next against the Norsemen. We'll see you here soon.